Welcome to the Academy of Photography. I am tired of the incompetent, evil characters in all the movies. They always lose. I just watched The Last Hobbit and there's a dragon that is absolutely worthless. He just talks too much and never delivers. I reckon Toruk Makto from Avatar would kick his ass immediately. I'm Christian Tudor and today I'm gonna talk about studio lighting for a home-based studio in more detail. Following one of the previous videos which had a great success, I have received a lot of emails asking me about how many lights would you need for a home-based studio, how powerful, what's the minimum setting, and or a lot of other questions. So today I'm gonna try to attempt answering some of those questions. This is not a complete setup guide because I don't have all the brands, I have only this brand, but I'm gonna walk you through some of the issues I've got. I'm gonna describe how a single light works, and I'm gonna talk about other aspects. Just going back, my home-based studio has two sets of lights. That means I have purchased 4 lights in 2 sets. I'm gonna show you quickly what I'm talking about. So one set of light comes in a bag like this. There are 2 lights which are already installed, and they come in set in 2 with 2 caps like this one, which is basically destined only to protect the flashlight, the flash lamp, and they come with light modifiers which they go very simple into this position. This is a standard installation system with 3 slots here, and all the soft boxes and the other things, they need to use the specific ring, and that's a standard. I believe there are several types of rings on the market, so before you do, make sure you know what you're doing because you might get a different softbox with a different installation ring. Anyway, as you can see here, this is basically the flashlight. This will trigger, it will create an electrical arc into a gas, and this is basically the light. Now, all these lights come with a modeling light. Now, this modeling light has the only the function to give you an idea what you're gonna get. This light bulb has only 150 watts, and because we're talking about watts, I want to mention here that my light is a metal professional Studium 300. This doesn't mean 300 watts is the understanding, as the normal understanding of the light power or the light intensity in watts. It's basically a watt second that measure the energy. I'm not going to go through the very technical aspects here because I don't want to go there, and it's slightly different. So just remember, this is not about the wattage that you would be normally used for a light bulb. It's just a measure of power. Now the light, it's probably 2 kilos in weight, and it has these certain buttons at the back. So these are the light controls, and basically this is the power. That means it turns it on. I'm not sure if you can hear, but there's an internal fan that actually cools this light, which is a continuous light, and it does get a little bit hot. So that's why this light contains an internal fan that cools down the light. The modeling light is basically destined just to give you an idea what you're gonna get, so that's the advantage. You cannot rely on this light as a normal light, because even if the light bulb has 150 watts of power, adding light modifiers, umbrellas or soft boxes will decrease the power of light. So at the end of the day, you're gonna end up with a very low light situation. So remember, we are not talking about continuous lighting. That's a different subject. This is strobes. The modeling light has nothing to do with continuous lighting. The modeling light can be on, and it's going to be a flat light no matter the power of the flash, or we can actually adjust it to indicate a little bit of the power. So I hope you can actually see this better right now. I'm modifying the power and the light increases. Very difficult to pick it up on my handycam. I do have a dim function, which basically is telling the modeling light to switch off once the flash is triggering. So the flash is on. If I press it on button, the dim function will turn off the modeling light as well for a few seconds until the light recharges itself. Also, the same function can be played by the beeper. So this beeper is basically creating a sound when the flash recharges. This one is without the beeper, so the light is back on, and I know now the flash is ready to trigger. Or I can press the beeper on, and now the flash is gonna give me a sound when it's ready. We have the power button, so you can actually turn from full power, and you can go half power, quarter, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32. As I have mentioned before, I usually go for the full power most of the times. Because we are talking about power, I would like to clarify a few things. 300 watts of power does not mean 300 watts of normal light. As you can see above, I'm going to show you my continuous light, which I'm using for the shooting videos. Okay, this lamp has 3 fluorescent lights. Each light is 60 watts, and in addition, 3 lights, 60 watts means 180 watts every light. I have a secondary light here. That means I've got 180 watts times 2, it's 360 watts of continuous lighting. So right now in the studio, I just described the 2 lights. I have 360 watts of continuous light. This has nothing to do with the strobe power, which is 300 watts of energy. This only one light will definitely overpower those 2 lights. Those 2 lights are good for filming, but if I'm gonna take a light meter or my own camera, I'm gonna have basically a low light situation, so it's not that great. These lights are overpowering even the sunlight on a small distance, so using these lights outside will actually be even stronger than the sunlight. I'm just gonna do a quick test in a few moments, and I'm gonna show you the difference between a normal flash and the power of this one. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take it I'm gonna test it in manual mode. I'm gonna take a shot with the camera. I'm gonna use only one light, and I'm gonna show you the difference in power. Remember, all the flashes are more powerful than the normal continuous light, and that is why they are being used in studios. It will allow you to go for very small apertures, fast shutter speed, to get a very clear and nice crisp result. Now the following question is, how do you trigger those lights? So those lights usually get triggered remotely with such a wireless receiver, and there will be another piece which will be on the camera. The one you see here is a cheapie that comes standard with the light, so they are trying to keep the cost down, and they will give you a poor quality wireless trigger. Remember, because it's very cheap, it's probably 10 bucks on eBay. It will do the job for a limited time, but they get damaged very quickly, so they are not reliable, and definitely if you are having a larger studio, this will fail many times. In my case, I just got a better quality one. This is a Phototix. It's basically the same principle. This is just a wireless receiver, which I'm gonna attach here or tidy it up, and I'm just gonna test for you, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is to trigger this light. That's about it. Now the very good and interesting thing about it, that all the lights will have this sensor on top. Now this sensor is picking up the light difference in the environment, and they will trigger by themselves. So answering the question, do you need same brand lights? No, the answer is no, as long as they have this sensor. So I've got all the lights lined up, and I'm gonna do a test. And we hear 4 individual sounds. Now because these lights will trigger very fast, I'm not sure this camera records only a few frames per second, but one flashlight is faster than 0.002 of a second. Sometimes the flashlight is not picked up by a normal video camera. So answering the question, if one brand of lights is working with another, the answer should be yes. When I purchased these lights, I had a test in the store. They had hundreds of lights on at the same time, and the salesman actually triggered one of these flashes. This is how they trigger the entire store in one go. Just to prove the point, I'm gonna remove the wireless trigger, and I'm gonna try to use this normal flash. I'm gonna prove to you that this triggers. So I'm gonna flash this in one side. The sounds, all 4 of them triggered, and they just recharge within a few seconds. How much power? Well, I'm gonna demonstrate one thing. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take only one, and I'm gonna test it against the flash, so we'll see which one is more powerful. I just set up my flash in the similar position on a similar distance on full power as well. Same settings for the flash and for the strobe. As I can show you right now, the images on the screen, the strobe is much powerful than the flash gun. Now, this is very powerful flash gun. It's a Canon Speedlight 580 EX2. However, the flashlight is gonna overpower it completely on full power. So that is the proof. Having a studio setting in your home is way better than using flash guns. I have been asked before, can you use flash guns? Of course you can, but this will have an advantage. You don't have to switch any batteries, but you can go for as long as you want. With these ones, you're gonna consume one set of batteries within half an hour. With these ones, you can shoot all day long, no problem. Now, a lot of people are asking me how much do they cost? Well, I purchased them a few years ago. There was about $400 per piece. So basically one set was about $800. I have purchased them in a store. But today, I'm pretty sure you can find better deals online, on Amazon or on eBay or whatever, depending also on the country you're buying from. In terms of how much power you need, this is very suitable for if you do intend to have a very large studio, like 100 square meters, or if you're going for commercial photography, probably this will not do the job. You should look into a more powerful than this. 300 watts second and 4 times is plenty for me and plenty for this size, and probably it will go very comfortably as in double. But if you go more than that, I would suggest you do your own research and you can buy some of the bigger and more established brands. Better quality and obviously a better investment. I hope I answered some questions today, and if you have any questions, feel free to shoot them. I'm always happy to answer any as I can. Please do not forget to subscribe. Until I see you next time, I wish you happy shooting. Thank you very much.